happen here? Disastrous start to his first qualifying session for Mercedes.
I think he's, yes, exit of turn 1, and he ends up on the grass in 2. There it is. Oh, he's so lucky if he didn't hit the wall. Oh, he did hit the wall. So he'll have to come in and get that rear wing check.
And I wonder if he'd have been on the radio to the team as well, saying, look, guys, I've beached this. Can I go back? Am I allowed to do that? Or is that something the driver just takes his own initiative?
I think he'd have just been like you do if you get stuck in a road car, just rocking it backwards and forwards. So does it, what hits the wall? He hits the grass now, which is going to, the car almost seems to accelerate. Oh, we don't quite know, do we? Can we see? Yeah.
Hit the wall.
So the rear wing hits the tyre barrier. So, and we've got another car off in turn 5, it's Van der Garde. So that's obviously a replay then of where Van der Garde damaged that front wing and some. That was quite a big one.
As you can tell from the fact, well, that's how the front wing actually ended up underneath the car. And he's still, I think, out on track. He's not actually made it back to the pits from what I can see. Who is the quickest man on the track at the moment and finding even more pace on this latest lap. He's done 2 purple sectors, first and second. And I wonder if this lap is good enough to actually dip him into the 147s. I mentioned that because the crossover lap time from wets to inters during FP3 was 1 minute 47 seconds.
Good point. Nice wide line through the final corner to try and get that to the line, as they know, as they call it. It's a long way to the line, but Rosberg approaches it now, does a 46.5, and he really is dialed into these conditions.
Absolutely thriving at the moment.
47.
Massa going very slowly indeed. He's lost his front wing.
That is David.
Yeah, it is, and didn't.
Wow.
Spun him around there.
So if he gets away with just the nose change, that'll be, his middle name must be Lucky.
And he just got on to the yellow line.
Do you know, I don't think his suspension hit the wall. I don't think the wheel hit the wall. Lucky boy. He's realised, look, actually, wow, I've still got 4 wheels left. I'd better carry on.
And here's Mark Webber going across the grass, even before he gets to turn 12.
Something tells me these wets, other than on Nico Rosberg's car anyway, these wets are really not dialing in to the racetrack temperature-wise. Car, you've got to bring it into the pits.
Down to you, Ted.
Yeah, we do believe that was Lewis Hamilton's call. I think there's a radio message on our pit lane channel where they told Lewis to come in, and he was saying, well, are you sure I can't stay out? He would have known that it's not enough. He's not in at the moment, and would have known.
We just want you to stay out there in case the conditions change, but at the moment we don't want you to push anymore to save those tyres.
He's up there in the top 10 at the moment that you maybe don't expect. There's this man, Sebastian Vettel, who is heading onwards towards the #1 spot with 8 minutes to go. And the bottom 6 as it stands: Bianchi, Chilton, Bottas, Peak, Maldonado, Van der Garde. Perez in the McLaren. It's not quite the way to take 11 and 12.
Another very lucky boy not to ram the nose of that McLaren. Looks so much like Hamilton in there, doesn't it? With that helmet colour. But yeah, still plenty of adventures going on in there. Sebastian Vettel has gone fastest in all of that. And if somebody comes in for inters, David, they'll all have to.
Tyres, as we said, Jenson Button had done in a fairly swift pit stop for the McLaren boys. To get Button back out on track again. Who's joined them on intermediates? Adrian Sutil has, and Felipe Massa on the intermediate.
Second lap as well, because you'd have to tippy-toe a little bit in the beginning just to make sure that you're not going to have to plane off the road. But Massa, how lucky was he not to take some suspension out in that incident? Di Resto only P12 with his intermediates. Felipe Massa about to do his personal best. He was 15th, and he moves up then to 2nd.
And Paul Di Resto must have had a moment in the turn 11.
Oh, yeah, he did it, Maldonado.
Not quite as spectacular, but that's certainly not going to improve your time. Lewis Hamilton now does 35 seconds for the first sector, which is the best we've had so the 10th, but he was right on the cusp as we watched what happened to Gutierrez. It's a hefty whack, isn't it?
Same place that Massa hit.
And the performance...
In fact, there's a load of Ferrari bits still sitting down there. So the freshers, the new kids, they had a few adventures there, didn't they?
Didn't they just? Maldonado And Bottas right down there. Adrian Sutil was right down there in the danger zone as well. Guido van der Garde is in the bottom 6.
They saw his talent. So it's sometimes when the boys grow up to be men and you see them delivering, such as Ricardo did today.
As we get older, though, Jackie, we want to be boys again.
Well, I don't know. I thought I was still a boy.
Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow, and we're looking forward to a fantastic race here at Albert Park.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. And the whole Grand Prix circus love coming to Albert Park and coming to Melbourne. We love it.
So, Jackie Stewart, thank you.
Okay.
Well done to the fans as well, who've braved the conditions, stuck around for a sport that they love, an event that they love. A replay of some of the action in this first period of qualifying. A lot of fans asking, Alan, what if we're confronted with a situation, if we run out of light here in Melbourne, if they, they force the cancellation of what remains of the session. It's not a prospect that you really want to think about at the moment, but it is Formula One, and there's always drama of some kind, isn't there?
But, as Sir Jackie said, at the moment, we do have a grid. So if they did have to cancel it for whatever reason, and I'm the first one to hope that they don't because I'm enjoying it, it would probably start tomorrow as we see it now in terms of the positions.
Just having a look at some of the other replays from the session. And it's difficult when they're all trying to vie for a clear lap, get track position.
Visibility is a major problem in these sort of conditions as well, because obviously they don't have mud guards or windscreen wipers, and your visor gets A, fogged up, B, full of water and rain, and the spray poured up from the car in front of you makes visibility really, really difficult.
Incredible that the damage, and there's still obviously damage to Massa's car, that he was able to continue in the session and not be eliminated. Mark Webber was another to go off just within sight of Felipe Massa's off. Some of you have questioned whether there was already a yellow on display. I mean, I think he was...
Session.
Sebastian, there's some rain potentially coming in, so it's worth being a lap early.
So everybody now out there on the track. Vettel just tiptoes around on the exit of turn 9.
You get so much confidence. As soon as the speed built left and then a transfer of weight as he swung the car into the right-hander of turn 1, and the front tyre said, I just can't do that for you, and he ran wide.
Hamilton through turn 4 now. And this, I would imagine, is getting into the part of the track that should be the most slippery, with the trees, as you can see, overhanging one of Sebastian Vettel. So far on this lap, a little bit off the pace of Nico Rosberg. Is he just taking it a little steadier? Oh, very twitching. Yeah, coming out that final turn. Didn't feel comfortable wherever you're watching it from, and only 8th fastest.
Didn't look anything like as good as the Mercedes through the right front lock, so he's going to struggle to stay in. He's lost a lot of time trying to make the apex. Back end of that Red Bull really not sticking well at the moment for Sebastian Vettel.
How strange, because it was absolutely planted on the Friday. That's the one rookie to make it through to Q2. Has the rough ride over the gravel.
What a great shot.
Stones flying all over the place.
Mechanics hate you for that, because they know the tub's got to have a paint, and that means stripping it all down. Obviously not this weekend.
Raikkonen, little replay there of what happened to him on the end of his first flying lap. And this was Sebastian Vettel going the wrong way around. I would imagine that was on his first lap as well. That's probably why he lost 2 seconds, because at the moment he's absolutely flying.
But that's going to be like a freak machine with the numbers tumbling around as you find grip, confidence, and then a clear lap.
Yeah.
Raikkonen P2.
Jenson Button going well as to prove your point there in a McLaren that's been struggling.
A little bit better through this 15 and 16, but be a brave man that throws a set of slicks on. Jenson using the wider line where he hopes to find some more abrasive tarmac and a little bit of rubbish that's been discarded out there. Could often give you more grip, and then goes P2 with that. So the karting line for Jenson Button working nicely. This is going to be a brave call now, as who wants to try slicks? Have they got enough time to go and find out where the grip is and is not, more importantly? Because You know, anybody could get knocked out of this nowadays. Absolutely any of those 16 could find themselves one of the 6 that are going to get knocked out if they don't find a clear lap in the closing moments of this Q2 and get it absolutely right. There'll be spectators.
So, Ted, are we seeing slick tyres coming out to the front of the garages?
Yes, we are. First of the Braves, Sergio Perez for McLaren has gone out on the dry tyre.
10.
I've just seen his teammate come out of the pits as well, Jenson Button, also on the super soft tyres. And he's got experience.
Ben is very slow, nearly 2.5 seconds slow in the first sector. The tyres still won't come to him as Kimi Raikkonen drives towards the line. And what's it going to do for him? He goes P8 with that. So he now starts his final flying lap. Can't afford any mistakes now, the Kimster.
Felipe Massa's down in the elimination zone. Verne going off the track to the gravel. Going very wide.
He's on slicks.
Yeah. And Felipe Massa coming out of the garage on the intermediates. Ted, down to you.
So that was just a replay. I think they're replaying it because he got quite a bit of a tail out, which is quite amusing. The only 3 people on slick tyres, that man, Perez, Verne and Bottas.
And at the moment, Bottas.
Man over the line then, there's a little trio there. Bottas, Di Resta's in there. There's another driver in there too. So
I think Di Resta was the one that got over the line last on that one. Alonso is
and Verne's in
through.
there. But he's on slicks, isn't he? Slicks were a horrible decision.
Well, you have to make the gamble and make the call. Ferrari decided to stay on the intermediate tyres. That certainly worked for Alonso, but what for Felipe Massa, currently 13th fastest. This is a personal best lap time so far, but is it going to be good enough? Might well be for the top 10 to be right on board with the Ferrari driver who's never been in the top 3 of qualifying here in Australia in all his previous sessions around Albert Park. Just feathering that throttle round the final turn. Quite a long run, down to the line now. Where does Massa put himself? 4th fastest.
So as we watch him head towards the line, there's a lot of fast drivers out there now. Ros fronts.
Thing is, though, he might have missed out, Martin, but it's not the greatest.
Good lap and a great call with the tyres. Sorry we mucked you around, but you're through in P4. Safely through P4.
Yeah, I think we had to give it a go, but we know now. That's pretty good, actually.
That's Jenson. He's so enthusiastic. It's like it's his first ever Grand Prix. Brilliant.
Yeah, just going over the front jack that had been left in the wrong way. It is a very tight exit to try towards the end of the lap. Here we are with him now as Felipe Massa and Kimi Raikkonen complete their first laps. Oh dear, that's rather ruined and spoils a very tidy lap indeed for the world champion right at the slowest part of the circuit.
But once again, David, we're seeing Vettel struggling to hang on to the back of the car. He's gone faster because they were just on the knife edge now. And that could almost be an element of his rear tyres overheating towards the end of the lap.
Yeah, looked good if you're into your drifting, but wouldn't have felt that good and certainly wouldn't have helped the tyres.
Yes, David, and everybody coming in for slicks, as you can see, a bit of a treacherous decision and treacherous conditions going on in the pit lane.
Or the worst bet ever. With all around us, people going faster and faster. Lewis Hamilton through the first 2 sectors and Fernando Alonso putting in 2 very neat sector times as well as we ride on board with Lewis Hamilton down towards the penultimate corner, slowest corner on the track. And about 60 miles an hour he took that, so across the line should be the quickest time so far is comfortably by 3.3 seconds, but is it good enough for Sebastian Vettel going faster still? Do this lap now. Jenson Button, by the way, is coming around to the penultimate corner now, so he'll get to the line in time, and I'm told he's got enough fuel on board for 3-time laps, so
he's coasting on the second one.
Yeah.
Mark Webber's flying out there, the fastest man in the first sector is Max Hamilton, in fact slightly faster, got a good middle sector as well, so Webber's on it.
Vettel on it as well, but by how much? 1.7 seconds clear of Lewis Hamilton, and the checker flag is now out. So for Mark Webber, his teammate, who's now down the final straight, all of Australia roaring Mark Webber on as as he crosses the line now. Is this provisional pole? No, it's not. By 0.4 of a second. His teammate, though, has a very handy 5th place. One of Kimi Räikkönen was 9th. Down the straight he comes to go. No, only 4th, and one so far not, though, when it matters the most. Jenson Button out there on the track, but is he going fast enough of the top 10? And did Red Bull expect anything else other than a Sebastian Vettel pole for the opening Grand Prix of the season? He gets his 50th career front row start. He gets his...
Mercedes, Lotus. It's amazing how more times than not the two cars end up together. But, you know, hey, Mark's on the front row. Now he's got to make sure he does a good start.
Just enjoy the moment as he takes you on a flying lap around Albert Park. His bid for a 4th straight world title is off to